We are just one day away from Africa Day, and as we celebrate Africa Month, more and more young music artists are seeing themselves as the new generation of musicians that want to take music from our continent to greater heights. This African vision is also shared by my guest tonight. Good evening and welcome to Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours. Composer, jazz guitarist Billy Monama has made it his mission to preserve the African indigenous music heritage and revive ancient guitar playing styles found in genres such as umbaqanga, umqashio, as well as umaskandi. In his brief musical journey, he has performed at a number of important events such as the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, Umoja, followed by collaborative performances with the likes of US saxophonist Dave Cars. But what's truly special about Billy Monama is his ability to bring music greats like Ellen Kwela, Pat Metheny, Tal Farlow, and even Jimi Hendrix to the Mbaqanga party with him, with none of them sounding out of place. All we have to say is, hey Billy.
Hayi ukhuluma nazo phela.
Hey Billy.
Wangibika. Ibila lo.
Do you know you and I have got something in common?
Yeah, well, yeah, stand izinto.
I am not going to deny such allegations.
Yeah.
I'm not denying.
Yeah.
We both studied political science.
Yes. Hey,
Did you study at Tugs?
Yeah. But now, Mamela, before you get excited, since study political science, you know, like it was never completed. I dropped it out because of music.
Yes, but that's why I'm saying we have something in common.
Oh, okay. Okay. I say
there
yes
for
to,
you.
I say to that. I say yes to that. Yeah.
What was it about political, or was it just something you like? Let me just study this so I can get a degree.
You must understand that you know, as a black child, when you grow up, they say, what do you want to be like, Gary? What do you want to be like, Sipo? Sipo says, no, I want to be a doctor. Other one says, I want to be a lawyer. And then I said, I want to be a musician. And they're like, whoa.
Our parents immediately thought quite a star. Oh,
yeah. Already the reference that they have, they're like, oh, my yo, he died like a pauper, yo, Moses. You know when, okay, anyway, before we get there, so now it was a choice that, you know, I had to make to please my mother. You know, and at school, I was very interested in history. And even at varsity, I mean, even after my matric, I still continue, you know, doing history. Even now, I'm still doing history.
I was about to say, we're going to talk about
Yes,
this in terms of you documenting music.
Yes.
It's still you liking
Yes.
history. But then, when you're picking to go and study political science, has your mother ever seen you play a guitar?
Yes, remember I started playing in 1997. I started playing guitar in 1997. So now the first audience that I had, it was at church.
So she knows you can play?
Yes, the first time, she didn't know that I was playing guitar until one day the guitar player at church was absent.
Enter Billy from stage
And then when
left.
they get up on the stage, don't say guitar, shy number. Guitar is yasha. My mother was shocked to death. She even took me photos. I still have photos when, I mean, you know, those photos are very special.
But now, Billy, you started playing guitar because you picked up a neighbor's guitar.
That is true. I never owned a guitar. So now, this gentleman by the name of Kaiser Kekana is the uncle of my friend. He had a guitar, so he taught me how to play guitar. And then on the other street across, there was a family of Galtsebe.
Yeah.
Jimmy Tsebe. He's the greatest guitarist ever. You guys, you don't know. He influenced. I'm telling you, like a grassroots guitar. I mean, like we started, you know, practicing using those guitars. I never owned a guitar. And then the only time I see the guitar is when I go to a church choir practice at church. Remember, I was at church 4 times in a week. Hello? So I was at church Wednesday. I was at church for the
Palaboy, band church.
So now I was always surrounded the music. I was always surrounded by the music. There was a choir. I could have chosen to be a tenor, a singer, or you know, a vocalist in general. But what fascinated me, what drew my attention in the music, was the sound of the guitar.
So where does music take you?
Well, it takes me into many places. Let's talk about spirituality. For me, when I play music, it's like intercession. It makes me to have conversation with God. I get to reach other heights of spirituality. That's where it takes me. Besides with young Tata, you say America, you say Botswana.
Swaziland, Bushfire, Amsterdam. Because I was watching this clip of you, and I was so curious. I'm like, where is he right now? In fact, it's only fair that you at home also get to watch. Just watch his face. Watch his face.
Okay.
Huh?
Wow. That video.
Right?
Very special. Yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Come on, where were you? Like, when you're on stage, because you say spiritually you're speaking with God, physically it takes you around the world, showcasing your talent.
Yes.
But in that moment, what are you thinking? Or do you even see that there's an audience there when you're creating something like that?
I personally don't want to even know who is in the audience. Because once I know that there's someone of a certain caliber is there, I might be shaken. So usually I don't want to see who is in the audience. I want to be at the backstage, have my meditation with my instrument, relax. Because now, once I know who is in there, I will maybe, psychologically you'll want to impress those people. It won't be music anymore. It will be about those people, who are in the audience. Imagine if George Benson was to walk in the show. So what happens on stage, to answer your question, is that at that time, I don't see myself closing my eyes. I don't see myself what's happening with me. I'm trying to remember each and everything that we have rehearsed. I'm trying to remember what is the next song. I'm trying to connect with God so that when this musical note, it hits the listener, the audience, that's when people will say after the show, like, that song touched me. How does it touch you if you don't connect with the instrument first?
Okay.
You need to connect with the instrument first. So it's a divine thing. So, okay?
No, please.
Yes.
Because, jazz almost seems like such an isolating, in terms of the creation of it. So when a song comes to you and you compose it and you write it, what mood must you be in? What must you be eating? What must you be wearing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of the creation, it can come when you're sad, when you're in love, when you're happy, when you're crying. So a composition is not an invitation by me and you personally. Is a gift. This melody will come to your dreams. This melody will come to you. In the morning, you hum this melody that doesn't exist. And then you're like, I wonder whose song is this?
Okay.
So you start questioning with, maybe you are humming a song that you had last night, but you're like, okay, no, this should be a composition.
I've never hummed the song before, and now it's here.
Because there's so many cases whereby, copyright, there's copyright fights in terms of because this composition was influenced by another composition. So now you need to make sure with yourself, live it. If it comes to you again and again, then we have a song.
So you at Makufe, you come back because you've heard that your mother passed away.
Yeah.
You bury your mother.
Yo.
And then the very next day you leave to go to France.
Yo. That was, yeah.
What song finds you? Because you're saying when you're sad, a song will find you. That's surely sad. The fact that you can't be in one place to grieve your mother because you've got obligations.
In the album, in my debut album, Rebounds, there are two songs that they caught me in that situation, if I were to call it. First of all, there's a song titled Lifuki Bopilo. So now it means death is life.
Yeah.
Because when I was in that situation, I asked myself, where do people go when they die? And until today, I still haven't found the answer because I was never once upon a time, I never died before. But in my mind, I think maybe they're at a peaceful place in heaven, as has been mentioned, that the Bible says that there's heaven and there's hell. Kwa hell we have like everything. That is why Sabagufa, because we are not sure where we're going. So now the song Lifuki Pilo came into me during that mourning situation. Yeah. And there's a song again in the album it's called Hymn for Dikeledi. Yeah. Dikeledi was my mother, was my late mother. Now Mina, before we are France, in Caromela, before we are France.
I'm waiting here.
Before we are France. I had a show at State Theatre. I called the promoter, said, listen, I want to cancel this. I said, Billy, no ways. A show has to go on. After the funeral, boom, drive to State Theatre, sound check. After the show at the State Theatre, France, in the short space of time.
You see the lives people live, guys, and they're still here to tell the tale. After the break, is the voice of the guitar disappearing? Are we documenting enough of our history, of our indigenous music, and whose responsibility is it to document the history of our music? You also want to keep watching because later we bring you writer and author of Sorry Not Sorry, Haji Muhammad Davji. Stay with us. Welcome back. While jazz legend Herbie Tswaeli released his first album at just the age of 49, Billy Monama confirmed his creative mastery at just the age of 32, dropping his new album Rebounds last year. It was in the years of studying music when he realized that there was not much documented about African guitar history, and so the art of memory making and the Grassroots Project was born. Billy Monama's love for jazz knows no bounds. He's passionate about the genre, an activist for the music, and all he wants is to recreate that authentic sound through a fresh and more vibrant energy. So you're doing an assignment, you go to the library, you're looking for help. Giddy, can't find a book.
Yeah.
So you decide, let me write it.
It's very sad.
Yeah, it is.
Do we have time to talk about this? How much of time do you have with you?
7 minutes.
Listen, now I'm gonna give a brief of this. I mean, on Freedom Day, I did an interview and then asked me what is freedom to me. I'm like, no, we free, yes, because we don't need to carry our passes, but we still live in chains. We're talking about what does Africa Day mean? Africa Day means that we celebrate our freedom, our independence as African, from colonization. So when I was a student, it is indeed that I was given an assignment to go and research about South African guitar styles of playing. And when I got to library, believe me, there was nothing documented. And when I was doing cultural exchange program, I was in Norway, and when I played the guitar, that's when I realized the value of South African guitar, because they could tell.
Distinct.
Yebo, it's distinct. Phela uma sosuka KwaZulu, mase ngikhuluma nazo lapha kuyazwakala impela kwethu uphuma KwaZulu. And then babulabula sishangane. But they know that if you are in the deeper north, you hear a guitar, you can only hear that this is Shangani music.
Yeah.
And all this guitar academics, they were never documented in academic ways.
Why is that in the time of Mongeningema, in the time of Jimmy Dludlu? Why is that?
Hey, I don't know. I think that is why somewhere they said to me, on some article, they said to me, that I'm a guardian of heritage. And then some people, they're like, I'm a guardian of heritage. I'm like, you know, I grew up with the influence of the Nicholas Ntuli, Patrick Chalinchali, Mahona Toche, you know, a kind of a guitar, driven music that was with Mautela Queens and Matlatini and Western Kosi.
Matlatini, guys.
You know, I mean, the songs, they're started by the guitar, the introduction is the guitar. So the guitar dominates. So now the guitar, it actually defines the sound of South African music. You know, so now in library, I found nothing. So I went back to the school, I said, there's nothing. They said, no ways. I said, there's nothing.
So where are you now? Are you writing the book? Are you doing the research?
I'm not writing a book at that time. At that time, I'm still a student.
Okay.
So when I was sitting one day, I say, I can imagine the next coming generation without...
The next Billy.
Yeah, the next Billy, yes. The next Billy not having information about South African guitar styles. Then I took the initiative. That was the birth of the Grassroots Project. That was the birth of the introduction to South African guitar styles. Then I took the initiative. I proposed to the schools that I want to come and do master classes there, and you know I also got incorporated with Samro. They funded my tour to make this awareness about South African guitar styles. So now, as we're speaking, the manuscript of the book is there.
Yes.
The manuscript is just waiting for that moom.
So where do you want this book to end up? Are we putting it in all music schools? You know, at the University of Pretoria, there's a music department there. That book needs to make it in there in the syllabus.
Yes, I mean, according to standard of publishing, the first books, they go to national libraries, you know, and national libraries, and then it's going to target because it's going to target the beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So now, for someone who is self-taught, he can also have a DVD version of it, whereby he can watch the DVD, the presentation of a tutorial on a screen, and those who are academics, they will go to University of Wits, University of so and so forth. You know, so yes, that's where, yeah, even a corner it will be available.
I was so annoyed when I heard you didn't bring your guitar, and I understand because you say it gets stolen if you just leave it in your car. I thought people like you travel with their guitars everywhere and you just whip it out and you start playing. Because I wanted you to run me through the different riffs, because you say there's different riffs that you started and you know exactly where it belongs. But when you come back, you're going to do that for us. You're gonna do it for us. You're gonna do it for us.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay, so Grassroots Project, you know, in its life now, where is it? What is happening with it? Can people participate in it?
Yes, you know, people, they even call me Grassroots. They're like, hey, Grassroots, you know, and whenever they hear old music, they just look at me, hey, Billy, you know, every time I'm being tagged about everything that is ancient, you know, like, hey, Billy, because I think I've represented South African music, you know, I've documented it from the grassroots level. Now, what is grassroots? For me, when we have tree, we have the leaves, we have the stems, and the roots. The roots, they die, the tree, I mean, there's no tree without the roots. So now, we as South Africans, before we get to the microwave music that is trending now, there is where we come from. I'm sorry to say microwave, digital music that is happening now, computer music. There's where we come from, and then without knowing where we come from, I think that we might lose.
Can get lost, diluted, and thin.
But you know what's the nice thing? Right now, because there's internet and there's so much information out there, even when the youngsters, teenagers, we can reroute, you know, and then we reroute back to the roots. That is why you hear the remix of the old classics that they're being done by, you know.
Listen, This is a fascinating conversation, and you're right, 7 minutes is not enough.
Yeah.
We shall have it at length. We're going to bring you back and a few other young maestros in music,
Yeah.
and we'll discuss it. But Billy, thanks so much for your time. Great pleasure it's been chatting to Billy Monama. He's got a very busy schedule ahead of him. Listen to this. Tomorrow is at the Zakifo Festival in Durban. And for all of you going to Bushfire, he'll be on stage this Saturday. Next month, he'll be curating the Grassroots Project at the Orbit on the 23rd of June. And then you can catch him live at the Market Theatre from the 27th to the 29th of July. And his latest album, Rebounds, is available in digital music stores. Go and check it out. Before we go to a break, I must remind you that Huawei is giving you a chance to win one of 10 Huawei cell phones. This is all you have to do.
Real Talk, Huawei and MTN are partnering up to celebrate the release of the new Huawei P20 series. The Huawei P20 Pro, the world's first triple Leica lens camera, is partnering with MTN, SA's fastest mobile network, to help you capture the best moments with your friends and family. We'll be capturing timeless moments and connecting with people in need while giving you the chance to win the Huawei P20 Pro and 10 gigabytes free once-off MTN data. So tune into Real Talk for your chance to win.